So to before we get into this, before we enjoy the PlayStation Showcase, I just gotta say, so originally I was gonna make this when, well, a little bit after it aired, after I got off work yesterday, because when I initially watched it, but then yeah, didn't have time. Wife was working, had my boy. It's a busy time, so I'm like, all right, wake up and do it today, do it in the morning, right here, and then yeah, I was gonna made myself some coffee, and then my boy woke up earlier than usual, so I had him. I'm like, you know what? I'll still be able to do it. Thinking to be he can be in the other room over here just watching TV, and no, he wasn't having any of that. he As soon as I started doing anything, recording, talking, whatever, he immediately came in. I had the door closed like this, and he's hitting the door. He's trying to get underneath it, and so here we are. So I had to wait till my wife woke up to wrangle him a little bit. Yeah, here we are. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another video. So yeah, like I said, yeah, I've watched this. So we'll just kind of do a brief overview, thoughts, reactions, that kind of thing. I guess kind of reaction. I've already watched it. So overall, I'd say it was pretty good. But yeah, you know what? Let's just get right into it. Let's just go right through. Um, yeah, so obviously we'll be talking as it's kind of going, as we're just talking about it. Obviously if you haven't seen the whole thing, go watch it. It's pretty cool. It's about 40 minutes long or so, and I skipped quite a bit, a few things, so there's a lot of just talking and explaining of things right at the end. Anyways, yeah. So what I liked most is just right here, right at the beginning. You have Lucasfilms, and it just goes straight into the, well, not actual gameplay, but goes straight into just, mystery, blah blah. You hear the if you when you hear the music going, it just kind of goes right into it. So what was it? Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake. So this should get you excited on multiple levels. First off, it was a fantastic Star Wars game. It was really before the Star Wars, I guess, really had, or well, before they made it what it is today, which is honestly shit. And let's be honest, it's just crap. So really excited with that. It was a fantastic game even before, and it's having it brought up to modern consoles because definitely didn't age well. It was the era of kind of sad graphics in that department, but PS5, ooh, just another score for a great game. Obviously, it's PlayStation Showcase, so it's gonna all be PS5 anyway. But who knows if it'll come to other stuff. And then next, I was surprised on this one because it came in and it's honestly. Well, the first thing I thought of was what was that? Mountain Blade? No, Black Desert. That's really what I thought of, because it kind of has that same graphical style, kind of that Asian character, Asian look, but the art style is pretty unique. Obviously, they're definitely looking for that very high appeal, very detailed character, but the like that, you have the shot of the space station right there, and then it kind of goes a bit more into the story. You're on Earth, it is all in Japanese, I believe, for this one, even though for overall we're watching is the English showcase. But yeah, like it looked really good. I like the aesthetic of it. I like the appeal. It almost reminds me of it's like a mix between like a, I don't know, maybe like a Darksiders almost, kind of like a bit more fluid gameplay. It looks like there's a few different weapons you can choose from, but mixed with almost like a Dead Space with like the alien parasite type of thing is kind of taking hosts over and all that. So could be good. Shows a lot of promise. Who knows? It does seem like a lot of games, especially if it's unknown studios or a new IP, kind of like what this is, that it's kind of shallow. So we'll have to see. But overall, I was pretty interested. So we'll kind of see how this. What is? I honestly don't even remember what the name is on this one. Um, Eve. Oh yeah, yeah, Eve. So from Shift Up, I think is the studio. So kind of interesting there. And then it went right into So 2K, and which obviously they do a lot of game. Well, I mean 2K does a lot, basketball games. It is the Borderlands, which obviously the aesthetic on this should give you a lot of the Borderlands 3 feel, kind of that cell shaded aesthetic. So I honestly don't know. It kind of seems it's going to be a loot shooter, but in the D&D era or D&D style of format. So I don't know if I'm going to get into this one at all. Really, I wasn't that appealed, mainly because I'm not a big fan of the loot shooters as much. But it did look promising. I like the art style. So it could be cool, especially if they do a lot more, focus a lot more into the storyline, which obviously D&D is all about the story, all about the experience and the immersion. And then yeah, if they do, I guess, less into the loot shooter portion and more into the story and the RPG mechanics, then maybe could be good. Wasn't even in the very next one, Square Enix. So this one I honestly had no idea what it was going to be because, I mean, the beginning, okay, it's a girl and her cat, who knows? But it then it went through a portal. Then kind of is like, what the crap's going on? And then you kind of get more of what we've seen before with the Forspoken. So we've seen a little bit of this, but it went really heavy into the gameplay and a lot more heavy into the story behind it. So it's kind of like almost like an alternate universe. So it's like your Earth, just not as you know it. I think is how they say it. So looks really promising. I like the mechanics, what it's showing of basically your I don't know if you get all the abilities all at once. I'm going to guess you're probably going to be unlocking stuff as you go along, learning stuff, or it's like a skill tree. But I don't know if you actually can fly, so more like hovering, making platforms, all that. But Forspoken, definitely want to keep your eye on, and yeah, looks pretty promising. Hopefully, Square Enix can do a really good job with that, and not kind of botch it, kind of how they did Avengers. Mm-hmm. Anyways, yeah. So go through. There's a few different ones. They did have I would say a little bit of everything, but had some. I think they didn't really say they were battle royales, but it did seem like there were some. This like the Rainbow Six Extraction, I think was one. Went through. It did show that Alan Wake is getting a remaster through Epic Games, so that's kind of cool. Grand Theft Auto 5, I think. Yeah. So obviously that's kind of you know it's there. The next one, I don't know if it said if it was a VR game or not, but I mean it's definitely a first person in the view in that aspect. So I definitely could, if it's not a VR, I think they'll make a VR version. Kind of interesting premise. I don't know. It did look pretty cool. So we'll see. Who knows? I might try that out if they have something. Um, Anyways, yeah. So then I jumped right into this one. Showed Guardians of the Galaxy, more of the gameplay, more of the story. So I went a lot more heavy into the story. So there's that. Again, you know, is what it is. Next one, I think this one full on what is a battle royale of some kind. Just because it showed you picking different versions, but then it looks like you were attacking other people. So I don't know. If not, then could be kind of interesting. Kind of you pick your faction, kind of like what you do a lot in MMOs or those type of games. So you can kind of choose, then you have different abilities based on that. But it did look more like a battle royale style type, because you're revealed. Yeah, you're looking at other people, that kind of thing. But did kind of look okay. It looked interesting, and it was yeah. I think it's a spin on the Vampire Masquerade, and it's called Blood Hunt. So that was then you had another shooter. Yeah, again wasn't that interested. Honestly, I don't know. I'm just shooters haven't been grabbing me lately. I'll be honest. Just hasn't been like, oh yeah, I want to try this out. Um, but so went through a few things. It's kind of cool, not bad. Yeah, so it did have one kind of it was almost like a completely different left turn in terms of the style of type of games that they've been doing. So it's more of a artsy style, very colorful. Kind of going around, you're exploring a lot. Yeah, so don't really show too much of what's going on with it. I think it could be possibly that it might be music based. Who knows? Um, But yeah, well, I don't remember what this was called either. I don't know a lot about these games. That's one thing I did like about the presentation is that there was a lot of new things. It wasn't just rehashing old stuff. So one of the big kudos for the whole presentation, new stuff, new IPs, new games, there things that haven't been released or I guess announced before. So did show that they are remastering Uncharted 4, I believe, Thief's End and The Lost Legacy. So that'd be kind of cool. Um, I haven't played through all of them yet. I honestly think I've only played through the first one, but I do have them all. So eventually I will get to them. Yeah, so talked a little bit. Again, not a big deal. Um, I think kind of went through a sizzle reel, a little bit of a couple of things as the one of the heads were doing it. Then jumped into I think I'd say one of the biggest surprises of the presentation. You see Insomniac there, you see Marvel, and you're like, ooh, what is gonna happen? What are they gonna do? And what is it? Wolverine. So this I am stoked for, just for the fact that it's Insomniac doing it. So it's I mean, you know nothing about it. We didn't see gameplay. We didn't see anything except for the cinematic trailer. So it's going to be a long way off. Honestly, probably 2025, I would say. And this is just for what the later announcements will be. But very little thing, but super excited for this. Insomniac is killing it in the game department, so it's gonna be cool. Obviously, in development for PS5, so it'll be a while. Gran Turismo, again, I honestly haven't played a racing game since the GameCube days, so didn't even didn't even give it a second thought. But the with what they can do with the graphics should be really cool. So after this one, just to break it up a little bit, what to go back to Insomniac games again, and this one showed some gameplay, I think, but it would definitely I think was more heavy on the storyline, and that was Spider-Man 2. Now, if you haven't played the first one, there should be no reason. Game is phenomenal, and even Miles Morales, a bit smaller, more like a DLC even or a companion game, but on the PS5 it looked beautiful, and it really shows here a lot of what you're seeing with the lighting effects, the just the way their suits looks so good, and and it has had really told you very little about it, but as you're going and if you're watching the whole thing, watch the trailer, hear the audio, and kind of fades in, kind of gives that suspense on what it's going to be. What is it? It's Venom. So it's really cool that it's basically they're kind of partnering up. So you'll I guess really I think this is the really the first mashup of these two characters in a very long time. So that should get you excited in general, and just the fact that I mean, they've knocked the first two out of the park. So this one could be hopefully be even better. Looks great. Gameplay is going to be fantastic. Hopefully they'll try some new things, and even take the immersion even farther. So yeah, ooh, so excited. And then to end it all, they did what I wasn't expecting this at all. I honestly don't think it gave a date for it, so I don't think we know when this is going to come out. So obviously, Miles Morales or the not Miles Spider-Man 2 is going to come out in a while, but this one I do think it'll be before that. Mainly because they didn't give us a date. So I don't know. I don't know. That's just my speculation. I think it will. But God of War Ragnarok. So second one in the new, I guess not I don't say a reboot, but the continuation. To the first three that were on the PS2 and PS3. But yeah, just following the Norse mythology, you see that his kid is a bit bigger, but it is definitely dealing heavier into it, and so it gave quite a bit. So I had a lot of gameplay, had some good cinematics, but this is why I think that it's going to be before the Spider-Man 2 is that we actually got a lot more. So it's showing a lot more of the weapons, the different type of mechanics that you're using, some of the new abilities, and a decent amount of the story. So should be really cool. I mean, you're riding on a wolf sled. It's not really a dog sled. God, yeah, looks great. I haven't even finished the first one yet, and I'm stoked about the second one. But yeah, I don't know. So after that, they did talk just overall. They, well, depending on which presentation you watch. If you watch the full one, it's like an hour and something, and yeah, they talk quite a bit afterwards about different things. But this was the last trailer that they showed. So a lot of things to get you stoked about. It's a lot of things to get excited about, a little bit for everybody. So I'm honestly definitely excited for it. There's a lot to be excited for, especially as a PlayStation fan. And this is the one thing I like about Sony is that they, they're, but a lot of their practices are crappy. With the whole PS4 to PS5 deal that they did and then reversed for Horizon. But and then a lot of a lot of them are they have to pay for the upgrade from PS4 to PS5, that kind of stuff. But the one thing they have going for them that so far, again, and it will change because now that Xbox has so many studios, but so far is the exclusives, the God of War, Spider-Man, what will be Final Fantasy 16 when that comes. They have so many heavy hitters exclusively on their platform. So that is the biggest reason why overall, I think, depending on the type of gamer you are, PlayStation and Sony is your go-to because it has a lot more of those experiences. I love Xbox, I love Microsoft, but from what I found, the people that like them the most are really the ones that hit the games that come on everything, the Call of Duties, the a lot of the first-person shooters, the racing games, that kind of thing. So overall, I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was a little bit for everybody. Honestly, I mean, someone's going to complain about something, but I really don't think there's anything wrong with this presentation at all. It was fairly fast paced. It had a little bit for everybody. I mean, it was a Sony showcase, the PlayStation showcase, so it was all, the heavy hitters. So it didn't have a lot of indie stuff, that kind of thing, because, I mean, that's meant for different things. It's kind of like, it's usually for a lot of time, it's like the Nintendo Directs, when it's just the straight Directs, it's a lot of their heavy stuff. It's all their big hitters, then they have the indie Directs and so forth. So overall, it was awesome. I liked it. I liked it a lot. So if you haven't watched it, go watch through it. Yeah, we skipped through a lot of things. I didn't show everything, but we went through, yeah, majority of it. We went through the important stuff. Let's be honest. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you like it? What are you excited for? What are you not excited for? And if there's games that you wish would be there, probably the only thing that I wish would have been there is maybe an update for Final Fantasy. But Square Enix had a presence there with the Forspoken, so I'm not gonna complain. It's good shit. It's good shit. But if you haven't, yeah, hit the subscribe button, the bell icon down below, share the video. Let's get it out there, because who doesn't like to see this beautiful face? Anyways, yeah. Until the next one, we'll talk to you guys later.